is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis playground.com founder, coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Jerian Grant signing with the Washington Wizards because Davis Bertans chose to opt out and not play in the 8 final seeding games and also the playoffs, which is unfortunate because Davis Bertans is just such a big piece of this team, giving them floor spacing, giving them elite level shooting off the ball, off a dribble a little bit, but also as a spot up shooter. Absolutely fantastic as a role player and a complementary player to a guy like Bradley Beal and John Wall if he does resign back with the Wizards. I think it's very interesting to see what's going to happen with this Wizards team because I do feel like they are a good team. I just don't feel like they have enough to really be competitive in the Eastern Conference. A couple years ago, there was a lock to make the playoffs every year. I don't think that's necessarily the case right now, even though we don't know how John Wall is going to come back. Will he be extremely rusty? Will he be better? Will he even get worse? And if he get worse, how much worse can he get this next and up and coming season, the 2021 season? And can Bradley Beal continue to dominate the game the way he did this season, taking his game to another level, averaging over 30 points per game, which is absolutely fantastic, but it wasn't leading to wins, and he gave up a lot of buckets the other way defensively, but at the same time, he had to give up something. And now with John Wall coming back, he doesn't have to score as much. He doesn't have to handle and create as much. But it is important to bring back Davis Bertans because he will be the perfect bailout guy. Because if you help or double team or if they switch, they always got a guy that they trust that if he's open, he can make shots. If he's open, he's going to get you a bucket. And those are the type of guys you want to play with. And that's what Davis Bertans brings to this team. Plus, he gives them a guy that can actually stretch out that floor and allow them to play one-on-one and break down the defense and collapse the defense if they can get their first step. But Davis has been one of the best bright spots this entire season. I loved him in San Antonio. I was shocked when they gave him away for basically nothing, and he proved that he was worth more than that when he got to the Wizards. He got the minutes, he got the opportunity, and he took full advantage of it, and now he's about to cash in a pretty significant payday that he may never have got if he would have stayed with the San Antonio Spurs, as he didn't get the opportunities in the minutes. We knew he could play. We knew he was good, but he really was able to break out and do his thing, and it was because Scott Brooks loved his game, allowed him to be himself, and gave him the green light whenever he had the ball, and that basically was the perfect situation that he needed to set up the payday that he is about to accumulate now. But with him opting out, it had opened up a roster spot, and they chose to pick up Jerian Grant, a guy that was already in the NBA a couple years ago, got drafted, I believe, too, but wasn't able to consistently shoot or create off the dribble, and that's something that you definitely need to do if you're a point guard in the NBA. You have to be able to pass, you have to be able to score, and you have to at least be able to shoot just so you can play and pick and roll and you can put the defense at his mercy, which he wasn't able to do because he had no mid-range game, even floaters. He had no pull-up jump shot that he can knock down consistently, and even when he did knock down threes, it says 36%, but he didn't take that many threes. He don't have a high volume, and I still don't know if he's a great or even a good consistent three-point shooter, and it's just good to see him back in the league, as it was probably very humbling him for him being a draft pick to falling completely out of the NBA and becoming a G League player for so long. And now he should be more hungrier. Now he should be happy to have this opportunity to show that he does belong in the league. And I want to see if he does, because I never had a problem with him. I never thought he was trash. I also thought he was an okay player. But those type of players are in and out of the league, and that's what his career ended up turning out to be. And now with the Wizards, he has a chance to show that he can compete at this level, and he can also have a role at this level. And if not, obviously overseas and G League will be his options until he can find a way to stay in the league consistently. Hopefully these next couple years, but we really don't know until we see him sign the contract next year, because this contract is only going to last for so long. And a lot of us don't even think the Wizards are going to make the playoffs anyway. And a lot of people have disrespected and took shots at the Wizards, saying that they shouldn't even have been one of the teams to even go to Orlando, because they are so far out and they really don't have a legitimate chance to really make it anyway. So it probably would have been better cutting them in Phoenix out, even though the NBA chose not to do it money-wise. It makes sense. Role-wise, it makes sense. But also, I still want to see what they're going to do with this roster, as they was one of the worst defensive teams in NBA history. And even though their offense was so potent and so good, it only is going to change because they're going to have John Wall back. So they're not going to have the same type of flow. They're not going to have the same type of play style, because when they had John Wall last year before he went down with Sky Brooks, they was giving up a lot of buckets, and their offense was bogged down and sloppy and very slow. And when John Wall went down, there was an up and down, get to the basket, get to the three-point line team, which John Wall isn't the greatest three-point shooter, and he's definitely not the greatest mid-range scorer either, which means that might be a problem in the dynamic of the offense once they put John Wall back into the starting lineup. So I'm interested to see what direction they choose to go in, because remember, John Wall contract is getting closer than what people think to being up, and Bradley Beal signed the extension for next season, but he does have a chance to leave after next season and go to another team. He already has interest from a lot of other teams, and he is one of the better players, so it does make sense. And he still is very young, not very, very young, but young enough to where he can sign the extension, and he has the ability to score, has the ability to pass, has the ability to get to the basket and knock down threes, and he has upped his way as a guy that can handle the ball and make decisions, kind of like a Devin Booker and a James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. He's on that level, if not a little bit better than some of those guys I mentioned. But he does have to win. And even though they made it to the playoffs multiple times, they never was, to me, a elite team in the Eastern Conference, and they never even made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, which was they was one game away before they lost to Boston, but they still never won 50 games in a season, and they still never even made the Eastern Conference Finals. And this year, they didn't even make the playoffs, I believe, for the last 2 years. Even when John Wall was healthy, they was below 500 the last time he played in that season with Dwight Howard and them. So they got a lot of things they got to figure out. They got a direction that they got to figure out, and they got to figure out how can they get this John Wall and Bradley Beal duo to work. What pieces they need to put around them, and can they really be a competitive championship team if those are your two best players getting the most money? Them and Otto Porter hasn't worked. They have gave up on that. But how long can you keep this dynamic duo together if they can't get you to where you need to be, and you're paying these guys so much money, but you can't even win 50 games or even get to the Eastern Conference Finals to have a legitimate chance of winning the championship? And if they're that far away from getting a championship, do you even want to keep this duo intact? That's the question that the GM should be trying to figure out. So as long, even with the owners, and then again, it's hard to get players to come to Washington. So even if you give up one of these two players or even both of them, you're going to have to start from scratch, and hopefully you can find a superstar franchise-changing player that can get you over the hump and become a championship organization again, which they haven't been in the last 30 to 40 years, which is unfortunate, but a lot of teams get stuck. A lot of teams never get over the hump, and a lot of teams just can't put the right personnel together and make the right proper decisions to put themselves in a chance to win the title. And even though I do have love for Bradley Beal and John Wall, they still have a lot more work to do when it comes to playing as a unit and as a duo, and they still have more success that they can gain. But with John Wall going down with a major injury, and we don't know what he's going to be, and Bradley Beal playing at the top of his game, but they're still not winning, I really am interested to see how their 2021 season goes together, and if they would be a duo 2 years to 3 years from now once their contracts are up, and they can go separate ways and go to other teams and possibly be missing pieces to other teams and help them win the title instead of winning one together. But we don't know, and I do want to see what they can do together. I do want to see Bradley Beal and John Wall healthy again together, and I really want to see how far they can take this Wizards team before they possibly might go their separate ways in the future. But other than that, I think Jerian Grant is a solid player. I think he's a decent defender when motivated, when wanting to be. He is a long, lanky point guard. He can play the shooting guard position. I really want to see can he still play off ball, because that's going to be essential to playing with Bradley Beal on the court, because he's going to need guys to be able to punish teams for double teaming and trapping them, but also when he collapses the defense. And Jerian Grant, I really hope that he take this opportunity, take the chances to get these minutes, and really produce, and hopefully can stay in the league a couple more years after this contract with the Wizards. But other than that, I know I'm late. I know you guys been new about this, but you guys gonna watch it and like it anyway, just because you enjoy my content. Like I said in the beginning of the video, you can pick up analysis player on and basketball analysis merchandise on my Facebook page and also my spread shirt. Also, I make videos like this, a discussion each and every day. I also make breakdowns of players, rookies, and legends, and even summer league players. I cover the NBA draft. I cover free agency, the trade deadline, season previews, and I also do make playoff predictions, which will be coming up in a little bit as we're going to get back to the playoffs next month, in a couple weeks, I should say. But other than that, if you love this video, also like and subscribe if you haven't. And like I said, if you do like this video, you think it's interesting, check out my older videos. I have over 1,000 videos at your disposal to watch. But other than that, Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, I'm signing out. And let me know what you guys think about the Washington Wizards, John Wall and Bradley Beal as a duo. Can they get over the hump? Can they win a title? Or is they just not good enough? And guys, let me know what you guys think about Jerian Grant signing to replace Bertans. He's not the shooter, he's not the scorer, but he is a decent defender, and he is a guy that can play hard on that level when needed to, or when he's motivated. But other than that, hope you guys enjoy the rest of y'all day, and I'll be back to y'all tomorrow with another video.